Yo, what's up? This your boy Hey Kid 05. This is episode 16 of my spoken word series. Today I thought I would talk to everybody about life and how life itself can be hard or difficult depending on how we make it. So people every day make life choices, period. You decide whether or not you're gonna, you know, you're gonna be a thug for the rest of your life or you're gonna be, educated. But one thing for sure is this: you're making a life choice. You know, my life, my life could have gone better. I made some bad choices, and I regretted it in life. Later on in life, you know. But the thing is, I made those choices, and I realized the choices that I made, and I knew that they were wrong. So life for us can be good or it can be bad. It all depends on what we choose for it to be. Now, nobody said that life is going to be easy. That's not true. Life is not going to be easy. You know, and whoever said life is going to be easy, I can tell you this now. Most likely their life is not as easy as they think it is. But one thing we can agree on is that life itself, it's complicated. That's the perfect word. Life is complicated. We do the right things in our life, and sometimes bad things happen. We do the wrong things, and sometimes we get rewarded for it. But one thing for sure is this: is that there's no way that we're going to have a better life without making choices that we believe are good and are going to benefit us. So life itself, it can be shared between other people. You know, we can say that our life is affected by those people around us. We can have good people around us, bad people around us, and they truly affect our life. You know, I've made some bad choices in people I've decided to be my friends. And I wind up regretting that in the long run. If I had realized that I was making that choice and choosing those people to be my friends, and I knew that what was going to happen happened, I wouldn't have chosen them to be my friend. So life truly is what we make of it, whether good or bad. Life is life. It's gonna have an effect on us, period. Just to be honest, I've been given choices in my life. I've been given chances in my life to do the right thing, and I turn them down. I've been given chances to advance to a better purpose in my life, and I turned them down. Because I didn't think that those were the right choices for me. Now, whether or not others would do the same thing, I can't necessarily say. But I know one thing that I can say is that everyone can say that somewhere along the line they regret the things they've done in their life and they wish they could do something different. To be honest, to get to where I am now in my life, I don't think I would want to change anything that happened. Now, yeah, I would wish that I did keep those jobs that I had, and stayed there. But you can't necessarily always have things the way you want it to be, because it's not going to happen that way. God always gives us the ability in life to figure out our purpose, and our purpose, once we figure it out, is the thing that's going to decide how our life is to be planned out, how our life is going to turn out. Now, God never gave man the ability to know exactly what's going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, the week after that. He never gave us the ability to do that, because if we did, then we would be making a bunch of choices that we know are exactly going to affect the future and only the future. We would never have short-term choices to make. We'll all have long-term choices. I think back to some of the problems I've had in my life, and I'm not gonna lie. I wish I didn't have those problems. I wish they never happened, but they did. And thing is, they happened for a reason. Regardless of whether or not I wanted them to happen, they happened. So my question that's been on my mind, that I know everyone else has probably asked themselves. You always ask yourself, what are you here for? What is your purpose in life? And that's a question that I know everyone always wants to know. What are you here for in life? Well, I know at one point I thought my purpose was to suffer. At one point I thought my purpose was to not make it in life, to constantly be at the bottom of the barrel. But that wasn't true. God has sent me so many blessings that I could never imagine myself without those blessings. I mean, God did so much for me that, to be honest, I look back and I say, well, geez, maybe I don't necessarily deserve all this. And to this day, I truly believe that the things that I have in life right now, I don't really deserve. I don't, because I could have made better choices in my life, and for the choices that I made, that's just what God gives me. I don't deserve it. And sometimes I look back at it and I say, well, God, you really blessed me. Why are you doing this for me? And God keeps pointing out one thing, that I'm faithful to Him, so He blesses the faithful. Over all the choices I made, I always like to ask people, okay, well, what type of problem are you going through in life? How is it any worse than the one I'm going through? And a lot of times, those answers that they say is the fact that regardless, people go through problems, and even though we might say our problem is worse than theirs, there's always going to be someone else with worse problems than the ones we have. Children in Africa are starving. They want food. We're able to eat. We're able to sleep on a bed. We're able to watch television. Some of those children in Africa don't have that luxury, and it makes me realize exactly how fortunate I am to have the things I do in life, and I thank God for it every day. Because I say, well, Lord, if you had taken all this away from me, where would I be? I know people think that life is just supposed to be bad. But eventually, life gets better. And it does get better. And for me it did, at least. And I the way I was in the past, I was so negative that, to tell the truth, I'm literally surprised that somebody didn't just say, you know what, that's it. You're so darn negative. We offer you. I'm surprised someone didn't offer me. I really am. But I thank God that they didn't, because then I wouldn't be able to get to where I am. And I thank God every day in my life for just bringing me here, to this spot in my life where I am. A beautiful, loving girlfriend that I hope someday to make my wife. Especially if things keep going the way they are now between me and her. I do hope someday that it leads to that I make her my wife. I have so much in the future. I have so much on my mind planned in the future for the both of us. And I know that it can only get better from here. Now, whether it does or doesn't isn't really up to me. It's up to God. If God says, well, He's leading me to someone else, and this person is going to be a blessing for me in my life, then I'm going to go with God and go in that direction. But God led me to her for a reason, and that reason to make me a better person. Since I've met her, I've only become a better person. You know? Life is a double standard. That's the thing I was really thinking about. Life is a double standard. You know, it's a double-edged sword. There are so many negative things that you can do right now that will benefit you in life, that will make you rich and famous. But at the end of the day, were they worth it? You know? Were those things you've done, were they truly worth risking your life, risking your future, risking everything just so that way you'll have money in your pocket? You know, people sell drugs to become pimps, murderers, rapists, killers, monsters, just to get $1 in their pocket, just so that they have a better tomorrow. And there's always another answer to the problem besides just that answer. So, my question that I want you all at home to reflect on is this. Is your life that you're living, is it truly the life you want to live? And if it is, how can you make things better from here on out? If it isn't, what choices can you make now that will make your life better? How can you make your life better? Thank you for joining with me for this couple of minutes and hearing me talk to you all about life itself and how wonderful it can be and how evil it can be. Because I've gone through some pretty terrible stuff. And I can say life started off rough, but it got better. Thank you.